Well, something else happened on this fabulous holiday weekend. One of my favorite shows ever just dropped season 2, Stranger Things. Yeah. Now, Neil and I were talking about this. We wanted to break down season 1 and kind of give our thoughts on that because at the time, neither one of us had seen season 2 or all of it. And we didn't want to give away any spoilers. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. Carl, have you seen Stranger Things?
Never seen it, but I heard it's a great show, and it's very weird from what I understand. It makes you reconsider.
Carl, would you want like somewhat of a mini summary of basically, well, not really of the show, but just what?
Yeah, a synopsis would be great.
Synopsis of what's going on. Be great. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little something. Basically, what makes the show popular, and I believe, is the fact that we're watching like a horror movie, not a horror movie, a scary movie back from when we were kids. It has a very 80s feel. Yeah. Even the way it's shot, the actors in it, the music, the score. So it feels like we're watching one of those movies back when we were a kid. Yeah. When I was younger, I swear to God, Dev, me and my homies would play horror movie roulette. You know, we would go to the video store. I don't know if you guys remember these places.
What?
You know, they existed back in New York where we would rent actual VHS cassettes. Oh. But in my mind and in our minds, and it should be now inserted in your minds, yo, dude, the most random scared movie is gonna probably be the most scariest. Okay, we would just go to the aisle, we would just pick the most random scary movie and watch it, you know, and it'd be fucked up, you know, because even the worse the story, the scarier it was if you fucking think about it, you know. And that's how it was for us as kids, and that's kind of what that's not the story of Stranger Things, but that's the feel. It feels like you're watching this random, like B-list, like C-list, like scary movie, but it's great story, and it's a show. And so instead of it being a movie, now you're watching episodes of like a horror. It's not really horror. It's more just scary elements gloomy, and drama. It has that feel of a scary movie, you know, like
it's like that drama horror.
Well, it's eerie. Is that an eerie? Tone to it, the
suspenseful.
Like I'm gonna put it to you like this. Like I'm not too sure. You know what? How about this? You know, like M. Night Shyamalan. Know how he's really good at making like those really scary movies, but there's rarely any like gore or blood involved. That's the kind of feel that this has.
Disney's scary. I do.
Not kind of halfway there though, because I get your feel though.
Disney will scare the fuck out of you without doing nothing wrong.
Some of the main reasons, dude, I love this show, and I think anybody our age will appreciate this show, is because it's so 80s themed and 80s callbacks to 80s horror movies or anything 80s, really. It's not just the horror movies. So when you watch it, like the colors, the way the Duffer Brothers, who are the creators of the show, have used the color palette on some of these scenes, almost looks like Blade Runner. Like it's like a red light comes in, or like close encounter. Like I created a list of season 2 of all the 80s callback movies that I saw in season 2 when I binged it. So I didn't even go through season 1, but let me just throw you this list of these movies.
Wait, so there's a weird theory?
No, there's no weird theory. They admit to doing this. They just do it as like an homage.
Break it down. Let's see what we got.
So on purpose, like when Will opens a door in this one scene, and it's reminiscent of the little kid in Close Encounters of the Third Time when he opens the door of the house and all the lights and the aliens are on the outside of the house. So like that's clearly, and they admit, they go, yeah, we love Close Encounters, so we put that in there as like an homage and a nod to it. So they have Close Encounters, Ghostbusters, Goonies, St. Elmo's Fire, Mad Max, Gremlins, Scarface, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Mist, The Exorcist, The Warriors, Halloween, and Poltergeist. All in just season 2. Wow. And that's not even considering they have like, this isn't a spoiler, but they have one scene.
Hold on, relax.
All right.
So some people take that spoiler stuff, so they don't like to gamble. They don't like to do that.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, me, I don't care. I won't watch the show for 10 years.
Yeah,
Tell me
I do like Stranger Things. I watched the pilot episode. Actually, when I watched the first season, I kind of was thinking, where else could this show go? Apparently they do have an idea what else.
So the first season, they didn't have as big a budget. So there was not as many visual effects as far as CGI. They did a lot of stuff with costume effects and practical effects work.
Sometimes that's better.
It is really good, but that, what they had, it was like they had a framework to work within. So the reason I feel like the writing and the acting and like the lighting and cinematography and the music was so good is because they were forced to work within like create this world within these constraints. And that's why I think season 2 is a lot bigger than, just following those specific immediate characters in season 1.
No, I'm definitely
So
excited.
I think that's why, and you also, there's more CGI, there's more visual effects because it has to be bigger because they have this larger world.
Yeah.
I was listening to an interview with the Duffer Brothers and they said season 1, their visual effects artist was in the office part-time.
Huh.
He wasn't even in there. Now in this season, they had, I think, a team of 5 or 8 people in there full time.
Official shit.
So it just shows you the level of amount of work and the difference. And, that partly is because, once the success of the first season happened, I'm sure Netflix was like, here you go. Here's a bag of money. Do whatever you guys want.
Is the show
I
focused
get the
all around
bag.
the kids that I always hear about?
It is about the kids,
Okay.
which also makes me kind of worry about the show. It's what's going to happen?
Oh, little Harvey
It's not-
Weinstein. I dig it.
Ju-
Yeah, I dig it.
I don't think it's just about the kids. I really think it's about this town. And these kids are the focal point of the town,
Oh, I bet they are. Oh, yeah.
No, for sure. Be quiet. All I'm trying to say is, of course, they're great on the show for sure.
Okay.
But I just wonder, these kids will age. They will get older. I wonder how far this show will go in terms, or if they will just adapt.
Well,
with it.
you can just grow with them. That's the best thing, to grow with somebody during the show. It makes the show
But
real
that's
time.
way down the line. That's
Well,
not really
here's the thing. Hawkins is a town where this story takes place. So you can introduce other characters from the town. Don't have to limit themselves to just these kids as characters for the length of the series run, it's like Simpsons. The reason Simpsons is really good is because it doesn't just have the immediate family. They have they have a whole town of characters they can use in the
Town
same way
full of
like
stars.
South Park works as well. It's we could do a whole episode where none of the boys are in it.
Yeah.
And it still works.
It still works. That's
Well,
true. Is it
Carl,
a 10-year long? Will you think it'll last 10 years?
No, I don't think so. But I don't think it has.
I thought that was the rule. If you were the
Actually, a
bottom
lot of
show
it-
ever, you last
Breaking
10
Bad
years.
is 6 years, 5 years. I
Okay,
think,
all right, 5 years. I'll give 5 years to Mark then. 5
but
years.
I'll tell you one thing that I do not like about the show, and I'll tell you this right now.
What is
flat
this?
out. This show involves a lot of mystery, intrigue, thrilling suspense, minor displays of graphic violence.
Oh.
But what it doesn't lack is it has a mystery to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the show, we as the audience already know the mystery. It's the characters on the show that have to solve the mystery. Like we're ahead of them. We're watching.
You're watching them figure everything out.
Which makes you realize how good this show must be.
Yeah.
Must be because of how it's being filmed. That's why everyone watches the show. It's so beautifully filmed and the story's told so well. But the part that everyone's kind of blindsided by is that we kind of know the mystery of what's happening. We're just watching these other people figure it out.
Yeah, you mentioned the films.
I'm more of a fan.
And the movie callbacks.
I'm more of a
Must
fan
be dope.
of watching a film or a movie where we're kind of lost and where they know what's going on and then we're trying to figure it out. And then there's one person who's us in the film. Who's trying to figure it out with us rather than this angle.
Nice.
That's kind of the way I like to watch a film. Mostly what's a movie like that? Usually most of the cases, for instance, this is a way out there example, like Inception. You watch Inception. We don't know what the fuck is going on in Inception. But Leonardo DiCaprio knows. The other fucking dude with the fucking 4-name dude. Joseph Levitt Gordon. That's his name.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
And I like movies. If we're gonna go that mystery kind of intrigue path, I like the movies where I'm lost in a purpose. I'm purposely lost.
Yeah, I think that makes
and
it
the guys
good.
in the movie, they know what's going on. And I'm catching on. I'm like, oh shit, But in this show, it's the other way around, where we're seeing the monster, we're seeing what's happening, we're seeing behind the scenes. Whereas these guys are the ones that have to be convinced. These people who have seen it, they still have to convince these town people. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So
it's
like a
slow
horror movie.
It's
in
like a
the
slow
80s.
burn. Yeah, you know what I mean? But they will do it very well.
Nice.
What do you guys think about, Neil, what do you think about the music for the show?
It was fantastic.
That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very 80s. So, the Drive soundtrack, remember how that sounded?
Don't get me
Oh
started.
yeah. That
Well,
GTA style.
Kavinsky, those type of
I have that on my phone
artists.
right now.
I was listening to it the other day and the Stranger Things soundtrack, and I was just and a lot of it's original composure. And by the way, this upcoming in November, the composers for Stranger Things are doing a live performance in downtown LA.
Oh, so the music that's being played
crazy.
besides the soundtracks of obvious songs, this is original music?
Yes.
Oh, that's dope.
100%. That's but it's in the style of that like 80s DJ
sure.
kind of. That's what, and it fits. The original composure helps with each one of these scenes, and that's why, like, when you have a certain camera movement and a certain lighting, and you put on this track where it's not like a known song. You know, obviously they do drop a lot of 80s original songs in there that aren't theirs. You know, but when it's the original song, you're just like, oh man, it makes it even creepier because you've never heard that, and it's like suspenseful. At least for me, I feel like Stranger Things is, in my opinion, probably the best TV show that's come out in the last 5 years.
Nice.
Is because of how encompassing and how all these pieces work together. There's other shows that are like really, really great in writing.
Westworld's kind of up there.
Westworld's up there, but for me,
like that one too. I never watched that one either, but I heard that was the bomb.
I don't know.
Like visually, though,
I don't watch any of the good TV shows. There's too much. I get angry when I watch TV. I'm old. Sorry.
No, I get it up there. I'll say it's one of the top 5.
Definitely. I'm a huge Westworld fan too, man. I just think like visually Stranger Things to me is better. But Westworld has a great, amazing score. Its writing is brilliant. Its actors are amazing and phenomenal. I mean, you know, come on, leave it to HBO.
What would be a great show? Yeah. Just to one up Stranger Things, if you ask me.
What was that?
And I'm gonna get this copyrighted somehow.
Oh shit!
Well, you're saying it right here, so that's what it is.
Yeah, you got the.
Just right. Should we can always edit this out, but just say what you think.
I think a great television show would be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh,
you know,
you can film it.
You can film it. You can film it in the '80s era.
Yeah, and we can just be.
And now we can really get some gore into this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Did you see?
And it's Freddy Krueger. Like it could be anyone in any neighborhood. Like you know what I mean? Like
anywhere.
it could be people.
Anywhere.
Like every season can be like just the one thing. But like it could be like the same kind of like slow burn that Stranger Things has. Yeah. You know, where we kind of all know what's going on. But it could be now we can add that like every episode, someone's getting like Walking Dead mutilated and shit. That could be like the one up. I think that'd be a good idea.
Have you, Neil? Excuse me. Have you seen the episode of Rick and Morty where they do this with Nightmare on Elm Street?
They do.
No.
Yeah, and they make it a joke. So they have Freddy, and his name's not Freddy. It's like
Steve.
Like Crazy Carl or something. But he's like it might not be Carl. I can't remember. Yeah. But anyways, he goes through, and his tagline is he runs through people's dreams through different dimensions, and Rick and Morty are being chased by him because he's running through with a closet. He goes, "You can run, but you can't hide, bitch. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch." So like that's his only mantra, and then they finally lose him, and he like goes back to his house, and like Freddy's got like a wife and kids, and something like normal wife and husband shit happens, and he's like, "Don't yell at me, bitch." And then she's like, "Not in the house, not in here. You leave that work at the door."